Volumes are up. Welcome everyone. It's it's Friday. You know what time it is. Oh, why the nerve? What does that mean? What are we talking about today? The nerve. Listen, at some point you're going to have to get the nerve, or as we would say in Barbados, the gall. Of course, the gumption to test yourselves. And because it is Friday and we're going through the weekend, the reminder is, what do you want? Remember that scene in Sister Act where they were singing the little line that they sing? I don't even know if I'm allowed to sing it because it could be copywritten. I don't know. But they were singing it over and over, and she puts her hands on her face and she pops her eyes out. And they're like, oh God, we're going to sing it again. And she was like, yeah, you are. So today, here we are. As tired as you may be of hearing that you're just going to have to be bold. At some point, you will look at your life and go, ugh, this is still here. Well then, do you know why it's still there? Because we keep flopping back and forth. We keep looking for signs and wonders. We keep looking to see if we're doing it right. Hey, look. I'm as guilty as the next person. We keep looking. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? But you see, Neville so gently reminded us, when you feel yourself becoming anxious, when you feel yourself worrying and fretting, you're not in the state of the wish fulfilled. You are not. He says, if the pool of your mind is disturbed, if there's no inner peace, then you are not in the state of the wish fulfilled. And he goes on to explain it something like this. He said, it's quite like I forget what his role was, but he had a 12-year-old daughter. And by the time Jesus got to his house, the little girl had died. And now he took the disciples and himself and the parents into the house with the dead girl. And he closed the door because people were like, oh, look, it's Jesus. And the girl died and he can't do anything about it. And they were making fun of Jesus. As they say in Barbados, mocking sport. They were mocking Jesus of what he was capable of. So what did he do? He didn't get mad at them. He went inside the house with the mother, the father, the dead girl, and the disciples. And he closed the door. He said, you close the door on the external noise that wants to tell you who you are, who you should be, and what you should be doing. You close the door on that, which means you decide what you will hear, what you will speak to yourself. You decide. And he says, when you lose the anxiety, the outside world looks at you like, oh, are you going to eat that? You don't want that anymore? And they look at you like you've become somewhat non-caring. It's not that you've become non-caring. It's that you now know that you can do what? Resurrect the little girl. Who is the little girl? Your dream. Your desire to be who you say you want to be. To the outside world, it looks like, He tried and he failed. Oh well. But within you, you are at peace because you know what you are doing. You know that, hey, I can call this unseen thing, I can call it into reality so that it is seen. So when you call it, you know it has answered the call. And so you just drop it because you know it is finished. No worry, no fuss, no muss. It is finished. And that is how you know the pool of your mind is no longer disturbed. That's your cue that you have accepted as true. The desire is being fulfilled. Because think about it. If you don't long for it anymore, you're not worried. Did I do it right? Are we there yet? Has it been 3 days? It's been longer than 3 days. Is my desire going to be fulfilled? I don't know. See, when you stop doing that because you know that it is finished, well, that's when the thing shows up. That's when it shows up. But you have to have the nerve to do it. You have to have the nerve, the gumption to do it. Sometimes we're still scared. Of course we are. What are we scared of? Looking bad? Well, we don't want anybody to laugh at us or mock us. Oh, look, you've been practicing the law. What have you done in your life? Your life still looks like garbage. I'm sure there's lots of things we've all heard, right? So you have to have the nerve to go inside and close the door to the outside world. You have to have the nerve to do that. Be bold. Because the conversation that matters the most is the one that you have with yourself, not what you've heard whispered about you in the corners, behind hams. The conversation that matters the most is the one you have within yourself. Because you can hear, oh my God, she's such a loser. Oh, look at her. Who she thinks she is. Listen, you can hear that till the cows come home. It's not going to move you. But the moment you start saying to yourself, am I good enough for this? Do they even like me? Do I have enough valid experience? Do you have enough money? Do you have the right connections? See, when you start saying that to yourself, that's when the problem comes in. So you have to have the nerve that if you hear something like that that questions who you say you are, you have to have the nerve to say, lies you tell. You're not for me. And you close the door on it, and you decide what you are going to hear. You decide what you are going to see. And you choose. You choose deliberately instead of allowing the outside world to manipulate you. But you've got to have the nerve. Don't make me say it. You got to have the balls. Yeah. Yes. Yes, you do. Don't tell me that's crass. Come now. We say those things all the time. It just means you've got to be confident. Oh, you don't have confidence? What would it be like if you had confidence? How would you walk into a room? How would you speak to yourself? How would you speak to others? What's the first thing you would do to show yourself that you had confidence? Ooh, you scared me, big boy. It's not time yet. I know you got a lot of confidence. No. Shh, 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 shh. You're okay, you're okay, you're okay. You're okay. Yes, you're all right. Shh. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. It's all right. You're all right. I'm trying to convince nature that it should take its time. But he has the nerve. So you have to have the nerve. You must have the nerve. Think about Yes, he's got a lot. He's got a lot of nerve. Because he's sure. He's sure of himself. You understand? He's sure of his voice. What does yours sound like? The only way you're going to know is to test it out. That's the only way you'll know. So what are you testing? You are testing, do I know what I want? Am I sure? Am I sure? If I say this is what I want, okay, then you're sure of yourself. Run with that one. And when you know what it is that you want to experience in the world, you ask yourself, well, what would it be like if I had this? How would I go through my day? What does that make me feel like when I think about it? Do I allow myself to feel it, or do I try and smother my feelings because, well, that's not ladylike, or, oh, I shouldn't feel that, or see that whole thing of questioning oneself? My granddaddy told me you can question anybody. You can doubt anybody you want, just not yourself. A double-minded man. Oh, yes. Oh, no, wait, no. Maybe, I don't know. You see? Practice having surety in yourself. Because the image that you hold inside your mind's eye, you have to believe that that is possible. You have to believe that it is real when you see that vision in your mind's eye, which means you've got to have the nerve. You've got to be sure of yourself. This is the whole thing. Knowing one's self. We get to know ourselves. But what if I don't like what I know? Well, then, revise. You're not stuck with a poor personality, you know. Revise that bad boy. What do you want to be? How do you want to be? What do you want to say? Revise that. You and I are never stuck with a bad personality. So don't say, well, what if I don't like myself? If you don't like yourself, look in the mirror. Just look at yourself. How long will it take you to look your own self in the eyes? Like, really? Just practice that part. And the only reason chances are that you don't like yourself is because you've heard from somebody somewhere that, oh, you're this, oh, you're that. That's the only thing that made you taint your own vision of yourself. See what you've done? You've allowed somebody else to infiltrate your mind. So you've got to have the nerve to say, this is my mind. This is my mind. Mine. So you see? Then you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you say, oh, this is me, this is mine. At first, it may feel kind of shaky. That's absolutely all right. You haven't practiced before. So how do you expect you're going to be out of the gate 100% if you've now started practicing? So you see, practice with the boldness to know, okay, look, the law is always on. It always works. Every cause has its effects. You go through those principles. As a man thinketh, therefore he is. So that's the all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. What am I thinking? What state am I in? And then you remember, that's right. I'm not asking myself what state I'm in so I could judge myself. I'm asking myself what state I am in to determine whether it is worthy of me. That's what you're asking yourself. You have to have the nerve to do that. You're going to go through this weekend with the nerve, a whole bag of nerve. You're going to go through this weekend, and you're going to sprinkle your nerve everywhere, your boldness everywhere. It's within you. Cultivate it so that the next time you say, "Rise, my creation, rise," you know that it is risen. You're not checking the clock. But you have now become like the bamboo farmer. Your neighbors may look at you funny. Oh, look at this fool. He's out there watering that empty patch of ground. There's nothing in it. He must have lost his mind. You know how neighbors are. Some of them are going to move and you'll get some new ones, but still they'll look over the fence and go, I heard about him before I got here. He's nuts. Ain't nothing in that field. 4 years later, oh, look, a whole field of bamboo. And they're like, well, where'd that come from? But the farmer knew that he was the one to plant the seeds. And he knew that everything has its appointed time. He did not doubt the seed that he dug the little hole and dropped the seed in. He didn't doubt that because he had the nerve. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. And above all, what did he do? He remained loyal to the seeds that he had planted, even though they were invisible to the outside world. He stayed loyal and faithful. How do you know? Because he watered, he fertilized, he weeded. In other words, he encouraged himself, and he knew. He knew what he had done, and he knew that everything had its appointed time. So when that first shoot busted through the surface, he was like, yeah, that's my baby. Look at my bamboo. And within 60 days, his neighbors could hear the bamboo knocking against each other as the wind would pass through them. And they're like, oh, where did that come from? You see, when we remain loyal to the vision, faithful, persistent to the invisible, remember, it is only invisible to the outside world. You are seeing it. You are experiencing it within your own mind's eye. You're touching it, smelling it, tasting it in your own mind's eye. It is real for you. Because I cannot see your vision does not mean your vision does not exist. So you, like the bamboo farmer, has to have faith. Oh Lord. Faith to know. Oh look, this is what I've done. I'm reaping this. I better make sure all my stuff is ready. Because when this bad boy grows, it's in full bloom within 60 days after it sprouts. I got to make sure I got the room for this. You know that your stuff is on the way. You've prepared your mind for its acceptance. Instead of, are we there yet? You see the difference? The difference is you don't have that anxiety. You don't have that worry. You're not fretting. You are at peace. Why are you at peace? Because you know what you have done, and you know that every seed that is planted has its appointed time. Shoot, even if you boil eggs, they take 6 minutes, depending on the firmness of the egg that you want. Soft boiled, medium boiled, hard boiled, you know. Even that has an allotted time. But the reason why we don't think things have an allotted time, even though we know that they do, is because where we are, things move very, very slowly. The rhythm here is slow because it's matter. Matter is slow moving. If matter were not slow moving, how would you interact with it? It is visible, thereby it is slow moving, right? So, you have the nerve to believe that your invisible desire is visible to you. It is visible to you. And that is what matters. So that you can say, oh, look, I've created this. What have you done? They'll say it the way Neville says it. You are experiencing in your imagination what you would experience in reality if the thing you wanted was right here, right now. Neville says it self predominates. It means, what does that mean? It means the thing you would do naturally. If it were here right now, the one thing you would do naturally. That's what it means. The thing you would do naturally, it self predominates. So you see, what would you do if you were the person you said you wanted to be? What's the first thing you would do? You see? Then rehearse that in your mind's eye. Think about it. You are already rehearsing something in your mind's eye. You are already rehearsing something in your mind's eye because that is our nature. We do it all day long. You know, if you have to make a phone call or you have a business meeting, something, what do you do? Oh, okay, look, if they say this, I'll say this. Well, this is what I want, so I'll say this. And if they say that, I'll counter it with this. That. So what do you think you're doing? You are experiencing in imagination what you would experience in reality if you were doing the thing. That's what we do. Listen, if your child was a little naughty and the school called and you got to go there, what's the first? Man, get my hands on this child. You hear his excuses. Well, I'm going to tell him this. I'm going to tell her that. This teacher better not tell me any food because blah, blah, blah. You see, you've gone through the whole thing in your mind. You've already done popped off in your mind. See? But now if I say to you, listen, what if you wanted a new car? What if you wanted a better career? What if you wanted a promotion? Well, experience in imagination what you would experience in reality if you had it. And you'll say, well, that feels like pretending. That's so hard. No, it's not. What's the first thing you would say if your boss said, you got a brand new promotion? What's the first thing you would say? See? We do it naturally. And you see, when we want to pop off, right? We say those things in our imagination with what? Conviction. We say it with our whole chest. We say it 10 toes down. We say it like we mean it. But if I say to you, rehearse the first thing you say after you get your promotion. Well, I don't know what that would be. I don't know what I would say. You know why you don't know what you would say? Because you don't believe the promotion is yours. It feels funny to you. It feels weird to you. But look at the other things that you rehearse that don't feel weird. You see that level of conviction? Then that's how you know. You're not even worried about it. You don't care how you'll be perceived if you pop off because you've already rehearsed how it is. So then, if we're always popping off in our own imagination, how about we pop off in the other direction of the, oh, wow, for me? Do it that way. You already believe in what you're doing. Oh, you already believe in what you're doing. Good, bad, or indifferent, you already believe in what you're doing. You already have the nerve. You already have the nerve, my friends. my beautiful friends. But yet we sit there and we say, well, I don't know. What if what if they laugh at me? I used to say that to my granddaddy all the time as a youngster leading worship in church, a little itty bitty thing. But granddaddy, what if they laugh at me? He would say, let them. How are you going to stop them from laughing at you? You just let them laugh at you, but they can't do you. Not the way you can do you. So let them laugh. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. He's like, are they going to get up and do it? He says, most people are too afraid to get up and do things. But you have the courage to do it. So why give in to them laughing at you? I was like, wow, okay. Rub some dirt in that then, eh? But he prepared me for something. He sure did. He prepared me for one simple thing, that I should always have the nerve to follow through with what it is I say I want to be, instead of allowing the opinions of other people to infiltrate my own mind and cripple me. Think about that. Oh, well, you can't do that. The next thing you know, you throw in the towel and you don't follow through. You say, well, you know what? They're right. And in the meantime, the thing doesn't get done because the person who should be doing it is too scared to do it. So where's your nerve? Huh? Where is it? My grandmother could always find it because she would always say, girl, you on my last nerve today. That's what she would say. You've got to be bold. Oh, but what if they think I'm arrogant? Do you know how many excuses we make to ourselves? This is what I'm trying to convey to you today. When you want to do something, check yourself, because these things come up and we allow them to come up. But what? Turn around in the mirror and say, ooh, my butt looks good. That's the butt you should be concerned about, nothing else. We don't make excuses. You don't have to make an excuse. You are the creator here for your experiences. What experience do you want to have? Don't call George and ask George what the best experience is for you, because George can only tell you the best experience for you according to his own experiences. So you have to have the nerve. And that's what you do. You talk yourself into what it is you say you want to experience. Convince your own self. Listen, we already do it. When the coach is out there on the field and he's huddled with those teammates, what is he doing? Convincing them that they're the best. What do we want? Championship. When do we want it? Now. That's what he's out there doing. He's riling them up. He's rousing them to action. So what are you going to do? You rouse yourself to action instead of talking yourself out of the invisible thing that you can see in your mind's eye. Day in and day out. Don't let me hold y'all up today. Who's here? Who's here today? Twitter. We have Tonyo driving tea. It's symmetric. Xyl Organics is in the house. Hey. It is so good to see you all here on Twitter on this lovely Friday. Who's here on YouTube and Facebook? Sun is here. A.M. Amani. Well, hey. Woo woo. We have a new member, y'all. Welcome, A.M. Amani. Welcome. Hello, Jeff. A, not double A. You made it. The better man. Wisdom Almighty. I see you. And for the others who have not made themselves known on YouTube and Facebook, I see you. Sun says, lately I've observed that all feelings which we don't want consciously pops up and makes too much discomfort. It is even having a body impact. Well, of course. As within, so without. So how do we fix that? I'm coming, fan base. How do we fix that? The feeling that arises when you have a thought. This is why I tell you thought, word, action is one motion. Because the thought you have causes you to speak, which causes you to act. It is one thing. So if you find the thing that you don't want is quote unquote unconsciously popping up, that's because that's the thing that has been entertained the most. So it is now the habit. So it just pops up because that's the way you've always done it. But here's the great news today: a habit is simply a thought, word, or action that you have done the same way every single time. And now it is your second nature. It's the thing you do unconsciously. Mm, it's only a habit. So the great news is this: you can make habits. That's the great news. You can make habits. And how do you make a habit? You select the kind of thought or the kind of words or the kind of behavior or actions that you would prefer to do. And once you have selected it, do it the same way every time until it becomes second nature, thereby overriding the old habit. You see, that's beautiful news. You're not bound by anything other than what you erect to bind your own self. Fan base, who's in the house? Oh, afternoon delight is here. Malik is here. Happy is in the house. Moon. Marquise, you just popped in here. um, Stephanie is here. Joaquin, Miss Boricua, Shay, Butter Casey, and Jeannie, Flo Smile, Oracle Tree House. That is a party in here today. Checkmate is here. So this weekend, as you go through the world knowing that you are the creator of your experiences, have the nerve to follow through and say, why, yes, I am the creator. Even though your voice may shake a little bit and your knees might quake a little bit, it's okay. This is the first time you're practicing what you're now saying. So, of course, it feels a little funny to you. That's why you practice it so it stops feeling funny and starts feeling what? Real. Or, as Neville would say, practice it until it takes on the tones of reality. Oh, yes, that's how we roll. Indeed, it is. So, remember, choose what it is you want. Why would you choose it? Because you're presently looking at something in your life that is dissatisfactory or unsatisfactory. You're looking at it and you say, oh, well, that will not do, darling. Well, then what would do? Select that. Because the old thing that you're looking at that you say, oh, well, that will not do, that's just an old habit. You know, there's a saying, old habits die hard, right? Why? Listen, habits show you your level of loyalty. Habits show you your level of loyalty to yourself. What did you commit to doing day after day? The same way every time. So you see, habits are neither good, bad, nor indifferent. It is just, does it serve its purpose anymore? Has that salt lost its flavor? See? That's all the habit is. So when you see what it is you don't want to be anymore, well, then from that springs what you do want to be. And now you begin, as you see it in your mind's eye, what you say you now are. The moment you say, oh, look, I don't want to be that, I want to be this. As soon as you say, I want to be this, you are it. Now begin to embody it. You can see it in your mind's eye. Well, then begin to experience in imagination what you would experience in reality if you were the man or the woman you were. How would you walk into a room? Hmm? How would you brush your hair? What color would you paint your nails? You see? How would you walk down the street? How would you say hello to your neighbors? All of these things seem so mundane, Angela. Those are the mundane things that we do every day. So how would you do them if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be? That's what you rehearse. Well, I would do it like this. No, wait, I would do it like that. And when you find the one that fits you best, because it's nuanced, right? It's your behavior, it's your personality. So if you're like me and you're dramatic, you'd go big or go home, right? So when you find that one that you love and you say, "Oh, yes, this is how I would do it. Yes, Mary, this is how I would do it." When you do it like that, yes. Rehearse it, do it over and over and over and over again until what? Becomes your second nature. You become it in your mind's eye. So that when you walk into the room, you are now it. The rest of the world just gets to see what you see because it has to pour out of you. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. As within, so without, as above, so below, the law of correspondence. So you see, that's what you rehearse every day. The new you. Rehearse it over and over and over again. You notice the difference. You're not watching yourself. You're watching yourself do something. Mirror neurons. You're watching yourself do something. That's what dancers do when they're in the mirror. They're dancing and they're watching themselves to make sure that the choreography that they learned and what they're doing in the mirror do what? Correspond. So that's why your external activity is only showing you your interior activity. So that you can say, that doesn't match the choreography. That's the wrong step, honey. How would you know it's the wrong step if you don't see it in your mind's eye first to know what it should look like? So that when you do it on the outside, you go, no, it's like this. It's a two-step, right? I'm not a dancer. I'm just saying that's what you do. So the exterior world is not there to punish you and beat you down and tell you that you suck. The exterior world is there to show you what you have going on the inside. Do those two things match? Is the thing in your mind's eye what you're doing on the outside? No. Well, then, don't beat up the exterior. Don't complain about the exterior. Go to the interior and change it there. Because as within, so without. The harvest that you reap is determined by the seeds that you plant. So, what seeds have you planted inside your mind? Day in and day out, I'll tell us over and over and over and over again. Why? Because when you hear it, that's all fine and good. But when you practice it and you watch it for yourself and you experience it for yourself, well, then voila, now you know. It's no longer hearsay. It is now, hey, I know what I know. But you got to have the nerve, man. Think about it. Your child is acting on stage for the first time and, in their recital at school. And they're like, but mom, I'm so scared. What do you tell them? What do? You encourage them. Why do you encourage them? Because you want to fortify. You want to remove the current interior image that they have. That's what you want to do. You want to change that interior image that they have of themselves. So you encourage them. So if you know that talking to your small child in a particular way will influence how they see themselves in their mind's eye, what do you think? That somehow you're different from that? You still have to talk to yourself. But right now, you notice how children, they talk to themselves too. What are they telling themselves? You'll know what they tell themselves by how they behave. But we think now, because we're grown up, we don't talk to ourselves. Well, we do. It is our nature. So the same way you have to edify the child so that they will change their mental image of themselves and go out there and do the thing and bring it on home, you do the exact same thing for yourself. But you see, sometimes we're much more gentle with the little ones than we are with ourselves, aren't we? But here's the thing, that same gentleness that you give to the child, give it to yourself. Oh, oh, but of course, because you know if you speak harshly to the child, you see exactly what will happen. So you're gentle with them. But yet we forget to be gentle with ourselves. Oh, hmm. Well, then be gentle with the little ones. And as you do that, practice being gentle with yourself. Mm. Yes, happy. We elevate our children, but we forget to elevate ourselves. And let me tell you something, children don't miss much. Well, oh, wait, they do miss pick up your toys. They miss that. They don't hear that at all. They don't hear those things. Tidy up your room. They don't hear. Huh? It's true. They don't hear those things. Huh? But they watch you, though. Oh, they watch you so they can tell you. But you don't do it like that, Mom. You don't say it like that, Mom. Mm. Boy, listen, nothing will check you faster than your children. But I digress. So, with the same gentleness that you encourage your little ones, encourage your own self. And the reason I'll post this one today is a short. Well, it's not really a short, but it's about a minute and some. Sometimes we think our children, oh my God, you're so bad. But remember something, see them the way they should be. Oh, well, the image that you hold in your mind's eye of them, they conform to it. Why? Because the image you hold inside is what is shaping the outside world. So if you see your child as, oh my God, that you are just a bad apple, what do you think they will continually be? A bad apple. But if you get into your mind's eye, what would a day be like if the teacher didn't have to call you? How would you feel? How would you look at that child? How would you speak to them? You see? Well, then, experience that in imagination. Because Neville told a story about it. That's one I'm going to post. Neville, he said there was this one girl, I think she was 16, whoo, and she was a bad one. The teacher said it, guidance counselor, school psychiatrist, they all said, whoo, she bad, let's put her out of school. But you see, that teacher, she went to one of Neville's lectures and heard about revision. We learned about it last night with the unjust steward. It looks bad on the outside. But what if I saw it as not bad on the inside and I stayed faithful to that image? Well, wouldn't you know, the weekend, the teacher started to rehearse mentally what it would be like if this little rapscallion of a girl was, what if she was an angel? What if she was the sweetest little thing there was? Funny thing happened come Monday morning. Well, the little girl was a 180 degrees. And they had to call another meeting. Wait, who is this child? Is this invasion of the body snatchers? Nope. Just somebody in the wine press treading on grapes for somebody. Oh, that's exactly what it means. That teacher went home and she said, not on my watch. You're not going to put this girl out because she's not what you think she is. I'm going to show you who she really is. And she got into her mind's eye and she saw that little girl as the best. And because you can't be made a liar of, because the thing that you believe inside is the thing you have to see outside. So the little girl conformed. And then they couldn't expel her, could they? Because she wasn't a bad little girl anymore. So you see, we have the capacity. That's the great news. Go ye into the world and spread the good news. This is the good news. You have the power to mold and shape your world and your experiences. And we do it by first recognizing what it is we don't want so that we can clearly define what we do want. And when we do want it, how would we behave if we had it? And you remain faithful to that. Remain faithful to it. You see it. How's it make you feel? Yeah, you get all fired up and whoo. But in the midst of being fired up, there is a peace that surpasses all understanding because you know this thing is real. Yes, God is real, right? We know it is real. Why is it real? Because it's in your mind's eye. That's what makes it real. And as within, so without. So you have to have the nerve to say, this is how it is. I see it in my mind's eye. And the only work that is required is for you to mentally, if you don't believe it just yet, well, then mentally put yourself as that little child. They want to call it inner child work, right? You sit there and you say to yourself, well, listen, I know you're scared right now, but guess what? So is everybody else. So here's what we're going to do. What's that move again? What's that line again? And you begin to rehearse it over and over and over and over. Yeah, because you know that every time you practice, you get better at what you practice. You know you do. So let's practice till you don't have to look at your script anymore. Come on, let's do it. We can do this. And you begin to practice till such time that thing is now real to you. You don't have to look at the script anymore. But you just open your mouth and out it comes. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so when you do that, that's how you talk to yourself. Instead of, dumbass, you'll never be anybody. Look at you. Look at your daddy. Oh, you're just like your mama. See? So what do you think is going to happen? I forget where it is, but it says, let no unwholesome word proceed from your mouth, but only such a word that is good for edification, that it may bring grace to those who hear it. So what are you saying to yourself? Because the way you hype yourself up or drag yourself down, you're going to act according to it because that's a state. And you have to act according to the state. So you see, either way you look at it, we are always either hyping ourselves up or dragging ourselves down. But either way, we are talking to ourselves. So what you saying? What you say? Sorry. But you hear me today, right? But don't just hear. Do. Because that's where the magic is. You can hear it all day till the cows come home. Moo. But until you do, you won't know how to correct yourself. You've got to do it. You can't wait for a sign. The sign shows up when you've acted. So when you do the thing and you go, oh, I'm so close. How do you know you're close? Because the thing that shows up in the outside world that matches what you have going on the inside, perhaps it's just slightly off. You go, okay. Let me do it again. That's what you're doing. You're always practicing what is on the inside so you can do it on the outside. Anyway, let me not preach. Let me not preach. Let us go forth into this weekend and live it up. You already have the nerve. You just got to shake it up, baby. You just got to shake it up. It's already there. Let me see if there's anything in the chat. Oh, Commander hit it on the head this morning. He said, speak what you seek until you see what you say. Hey, let me say it again for you. Speak what you seek until you see what you say. Yes, because believing is seeing. Oh, believing is seeing. You can only see what you believe. You can only see what you believe. The contents of your inner world show up on the outside. So if that is the case, well, then you are only seeing what you believe. So that's why he's telling you, you speak what you seek until you see what you say. As within, so without, Commander. Whew, that was hot, right? That was hot indeed. Joaquim is reminding us that he keeps faith in his bamboo. No, Marquise. Tongue in cheek. But yes, it is true, right? Shea Butter. Shea Butter said, "Oh, he didn't snooze the chicken." Nah, he had his own mind today. He woke up and he was like, listen, he woke up and he chose what he chose. So today, be bold. Be bold because you got this in the bag. Hey, beautiful ones. It's good to see you. It sure is. Welcome to the space, darling. So to recap today, real quick, when you can see what it is that you are displeased with, well then, don't judge it, don't criticize, don't beat yourself up. That is your cue because what you're seeing on the outside is telling you, oh, but that's what's on the inside, honey. That's what you're seeing. So if you don't like what's on the outside, go to the inside and change it there. So that why? The thing that you now want to see on the outside and experience on the outside is what you have planted. Thus, you can remain faithful to harvesting your bamboo. Mm-hmm. I love you. Let me get the bowl. And when you hear the bowl and possible bird song this morning, when you hear the bowl, so long as you're not driving, when you hear the bowl, begin to stir up or rouse within yourself your nerve, your boldness, because it is there. It is there within you. Stir it up. Stir it up. And as the bowl plays, by the time you get to the end of the bowl, if your mind should wander, bring it back to I am bold. But we don't just say mindless affirmations robotically. We don't do that. We are deliberate in what we say. See yourself as bold in your mind's eye and begin to experience your boldness in your mind's eye. Bird song right on cue. He says he is bold, right? Well, he would have to be to make to sing his song. So when you find that boldness within, stir it up, rouse it, hmm so that it. Remember ebb and flow, the rhythm, right? Then something reaches its peak, it pours out, right? So stir up the boldness within yourself, so that it pours out of you. Let me get the bowl. Hold on, y'all. I'm scrolling to find the bowl. Here it is. Bull and bird song. Countdown. Checkmate. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2. Driving tea. It's symmetric. Tanya. Thank you all for being here on Twitter. And tonight, 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will see you for the lecture. Which one are we doing? I don't remember which lecture we're doing, but I am sure it'll be fire. I'm sure it'll be awesome. So I'll see you tonight, 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you're available. Much love to you, and enjoy the weekend. Peace out, Twitter. Let's get the water queued up. YouTube. Listen, checkmate. You just had me cracking up. Checkmate is in the house talking about, yes, please do preach. I'm like, no. Because ain't nobody going home if we start. Son, A.M. Amani, again, thank you for becoming a member, my beautiful darling. Jeff, Aina, Double A, the better man, Wisdom Almighty, and whose name I haven't said in quite some time? Marjorie. I'm gonna have to message Marjorie. Yeah, I'm gonna message Marjorie. So I'll see you tonight, y'all. 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the lecture. Peace out, YouTube and Facebook. Peace out.